You know the hardest thing for a black preacher, ain't that right, Cecil, is to be criticized by all the other black preachers. And these chuckleheads went out here last week and took this money from the Roman Catholic Church and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and ran around here telling black folk, you better be afraid because your families are going to be destroyed if we don't pass Proposition 8. Now, I know, my people have been so beaten down, and I am a Marxist-Leninist unapologetically in my analysis. And when you beat people down, Marx called them the lumpen proletariat. There are a lot of folk who will do anything if you tell them things are going to get better. There are a lot of folk who will go for anything if you give them a little something. Oh, Reggie, hadn't we had problems in Chicago? All you had to do was give them Negroes a chicken, and they kept voting for the oppressor. Because having the chicken in the pot is better than having nothing at all, isn't it? And those who have 3 or 4 chickens in the freezer don't understand what hunger can do. We don't understand what living from day to day can do. We don't understand how beaten down. I want to excuse my people, but I am embarrassed and I am disappointed. But there are also many of us who are bisexual, gay, lesbian, and transgender who are black. No, the election of Barack Obama as president of the USA doesn't mean that there are no excuses for death, no excuses for failure, no excuses for suffering. It just means that the God presence has once again been demonstrated to give hope to those who are indeed trapped and being destroyed by real deprivation, real miseducation. Oh, this educational system. America, we got to do something about our illiterate children. I'm going to tell you something. I used to work in Iowa and in South Dakota. I worked on the Rosebud Reservation for Native Americans. You know that the white people in Iowa and South Dakota could not read as well as the children in Chicago's inferior schools. America needs to do something about education. Education and not highways, not street lights, not bailing out corporations and banks needs to become the business of this country. There are 5 things we need to understand about this new leader pulled from the water. First, the collective democratic effort and witness of the women in this story against the tyranny of one man's edict of death. We did not read the first part of the first chapter. Oh, you got to read this story. The women got it together. In fact, men always think that they can stop something from happening by killing off the other men and letting the women go. And that's why revolutions have continued in the world, because the women have been organizing and overthrowing the stupid men and their edicts. Collective democratic witness, Stokely Carmichael. Thank you, Jackie Wax. She put my brother up on the wall a minute ago. There's so many people in heaven who are celebrating this day. And Stokely said, if you want freedom, there's only one word you need to deal with: organize. Organize, organize, organize. 12 o'clock, right? In Oakland at the Mormon Temple. I never knew what that was. That's that big white thing up on the hill over there. We're going to be protesting for democracy for all of Americans at 12 o'clock up on the hill there. If you get there at 12:30, 1 o'clock, that's all right. You can still come out there and let your voice be heard. Some people at St. Mary's right now. The struggle continues, folks. It didn't end with the president. It just started with the election of Barack Obama. And folk, Stokely Carmichael was right, because the Hebrew midwives, they crossed class, they crossed racial, they crossed cultural, and they crossed ethnic lines. They organized in response to the edict. Hear that, Genesis posse? They organized, in this case, that all male Hebrew children should be drowned at birth. They created a special strategy in which Moses' very existence, see, this is a symbol, folks. Moses' very existence became a symbol of resistance to tyranny. A symbol. Moses' mother puts him in a basket in the high grass, sends him up the Nile River. Slave girl comes, picks him up, takes him to Pharaoh's daughter. Moses' sister comes behind. Moses' mama's brought into the, and another slave girl comes and takes the way to Moses. At least 5 women are involved in an act of defiance against an unjust law. May their name be blessed forever. These sisters need to be praised, because Pharaoh's daughter wasn't stupid about what was happening. She looked and said, this is a Hebrew baby boy, but he mine now. See, and that's what we got to do. We got to start adopting. Huh? We got to start adopting these children. These are children. The same-sex couples who were denied our civil rights, those are our brothers and sisters. Those are our children. Those are our mothers and fathers. We got to start adopting. Second, notice there's no mention of Moses' father in the story. Nor is there any mention of Moses' relationship with Pharaoh or the king of Egypt. 2 women raised Moses. Don't miss this now. His natural mother and the daughter of Pharaoh supply his educational, emotional, and physical needs. Moses is a product of 2 loving same-gender parents. Millennial generation, Paige Rawson read it to you directly from the text. Third, Moses is a cross-cultural, cross-racial infant. All y'all talking about marrying your own tribe and stuff, forget about it. We're just people. Yes, we are. We all were dying together, 4,000 of us in Iraq. We were from every part of the globe. The 4,000 lives taken there, in addition to the over 100,000 lives of Iraqi and Iranian people lost so far in this war. And Moses later becomes cross-ethnic, because we got a tendency to run away from home. Home gets too hard. So we stop communicating with those who don't embrace us and love us. Moses had moved to another country, was speaking another language, and God got him and said, hey, you got God presence in you, boy. What you doing out here in the wilderness? Go back into the city. Go back into the town you came back. Go back to America. Go to Europe. Go to Canada. Go to South America. Go all over the globe. Get on the internet and let folk know that the God presence is about liberation. Let folk know that the God presence is about changing things. And go back and get your people out of slavery. Go back and do what you came for. You came to set people free, not to sit up in your penthouse sipping.